Right? Jangan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? Semua okay? All right. So I will continue. Now the weather is good. I will continue from where we left last class. I'm going to finish up this chapter. And then I will cover the Malaysian income tax system. And then we discuss the midterm. And let's see, how much time do we have to do that? Now let me go through the things that we were talking about last time. Yeah. Okay, boleh nampak skrin Alright. I think we were doing this one. We have discussed in realize, and then okay. So basically, we are done with chapter number 12. So this is how we cover that chapter 12. And of course, if you look at chapter 12, there are a few things that we don't cover. So don't worry about the things that we don't cover. Just worry about the things that we discussed in the past. Right? Okay, chapter number 13. So the most important part is the concept of Hicks-Simon income, the concept of the comprehensive income. I give you that question, the question that we did on Monday. So basically, that is the homework question. You can try do question number 1, problem number 1. Okay, if you want to try, you can try do problem number 1 in the chapter. You try do problem 1, right? In that thing, in the problem part. And let's say here, inflation 3%. So you just don't worry about the inflation, because if you include inflation, the calculation will be more complicated. So you disregard that inflation. So we just calculate the cost amount, right? So inflation 3%, disregard it. So you just do the question by the gross amount. Okay. All right. Any question? Anything? Okay, so now we will go to the next topic. Now, next topic is the Malaysian income tax. And if you look at by the book, That is the US income tax. But other than the US income tax, we will do our country income tax. The system is quite similar. So this is chapter number 14. If you look at chapter number 14, the book concerned about the American income tax system. So we modified a little bit. We do the Malaysian. So you don't have to worry about the US, or just worry about what we are doing now, which is the Malaysian. So let me see. I have it here. I thought I do chapter 14. Chapter number 15. Chapter number income tax theory. I tak ada. Oh, ni aku sekejap income tax. This is income tax Malaysia. Before we do this income tax Malaysia, we want to do something about the concept of income tax. Comprehensive income. Income tax Malaysia. Okay, just bear with me. Sama ya. Kalau tak ada, I have to income tax Malaysia. Tadi kita dapat lah. Ini chapter number budget tax efficiency, income tax theory. Income tax theory. Jangan tak buat bagus ni. Tak apa, maybe I think it's still part of this income tax theory. Income tax 15. I should have another file. Chapter number 15. Tapi tak nampak pula. Income chapter number 11. Comprehensive income. Okay, tengok comprehensive income. Ini dia, alright. Okay, so this is excitement. Okay, now when you do the taxation, you want to tax the income, all right? There are problems, some issues with regard to the excitement income, the concept of excitement income. Number one, some of the income included in that definition is costly to measure or difficult to measure. For example, some unrealized gain. Yes, some realized gain, you can measure. Some benefit, okay? Some types of benefit, in-kind benefit. Example, probably our employer gives a parking lot, a parking lot. So to measure the value of that parking lot, the services is quite difficult. All right. So some of this kind of income, it's difficult to measure, and also it is not fair. Okay, it is not fair to tax. Now, is it fair to tax your unrealized capital gain? Suppose you own a house, value increases by 100,000 over the year. You don't sell the house, but that is considered income. So you are taxed on the 100,000. Now, is it fair? Because you don't have the income, you don't have the money. It's just on paper. Okay. So these are the issues. So issue number one is the one, some measurement issues. Okay, some measurement issues. For example, benefit, right? Benefit. That's the parking. Okay, that's number one. Number two, is it fair? Sometimes is it fair for some unrealized gain to be taxed? It's not to be taxed. Fair. Okay, for example, unrealized increase in house value. And it's a lot of money. Example, 100,000 a day. Okay, 100,000 RM. And you don't have the money, it's just on paper. And so you are taxed on that thing. So these are some issues. Okay. And another thing is that we are talking about, let's say, two individuals. Okay, two individuals. You have same income. Okay, can you hear me? Nanti saya cakap seseorang macam orang mabuk. Can you hear?
Sir. Can.
Two individuals, same income. The person A has a family, wife, 5 children. Another person B, single. Now, if you have this kind of thing, even though same income, but you have different family size. Now, is it fair to tax the same? That's another issue. Okay. Or you are talking about another person. Okay, C. That is good enough. So you have this kind of thing. And then issues also about externalities consumption. Let's say you consume something positive lah. Okay, you consume something or you spend your income on something that generate positive externality. Example, you donate to the hospital. Okay, you make a donation to hospital. Now, when you donate money to hospital, the hospital will benefit other people. All right. So your consumption or your spending there generate positive externalities. So there are some issues. So if you remember, I mentioned last class, you want to measure income, all right, as comprehensive as possible, all sources. That is to be fair, okay, also to be equitable. On the other hand, when you are talking about taxation, if you tax all the income from all sources without regard to some other issues that I just mentioned, it is also what? It is also not equitable. So in terms of fairness, when you tax, you will have to consider other issues as well. That is concerned to the what? To the individual or to the spending of the individual. So when you come up with the concept of taxation, we will consider some uses of your income. All right. Suppose not to be taxed. Okay. And some sources, right? Some sources, income from some sources, not to be taxed. So this is the discussion that we are going to look at. All right. So we are going to go into more detail. I will show you, the slide. Okay. 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 This is some of this I already mentioned, right? Some I don't. So we go through. Now, some activities yield external benefit to the society. That means from your income you spend. Okay, you use some uses of the income, create external benefit, positive activity lah. For example, charitable giving, your charity, donation, give your gift to a museum, things like that. So these activities that generate positive activities may not be included when you compute the income that is to be taxed. Right, that's number one. Number two, work-related expenditure, the cost of earning the income. Okay, for example, when you work, you may have to spend some money commuting from home to the office. Probably you have to buy some dresses, uniform. If you have children, you have to take care of expenses in the nursery, childcare, this kind of thing. All right. So this then some uses of income that may not be included in the total income which we are taxed on. Okay. All right. Okay. So far, good. There are two things, and there are of course some others. Okay, this one I didn't mention. Shocks to income. Sometimes our income is almost stable every month, but any given month you may have a shock to the income. Why? Sometimes you have emergency, for example, critical illness to one of our family member or to ourselves, where we have to say during that period you have to incur significant medical expenses due to some kind of illness. So you have what? You have a shock to your income, unexpected change in income. So this is one of the factors that we may look at in order to come up with the income in which you are going to be taxed. Okay. So taking that into account, when you want to tax, all right, when you want to tax governments, not just Malaysian government, any government in the world, normally we deviate from the Hicks-Simon income. In terms of sources, we will identify, all right, most of the sources, with the exception of some sources I just mentioned earlier. And when you want to tax the income, you deviate in terms of what? In terms of you will have to give, okay? You have to give certain uses of the income not to be included in the what? In the income that is going to be taxed, okay? So there will be what? There will be unrealized capital gain, the implicit income ni home production lah. Right, home production, let's say you repair your house according to Hick-Simon, that is considered income. But it's quite difficult to measure because it's home production. So this kind of activities will not be considered income, all right? So that will be not measured, and some in-kind income are not included. So in reality, all right, in reality, when we come up with the tax, okay, income tax. So now we are talking about the tax. So you could talk about the tax. According to the Hick-Simon, okay, the Hick-Simon, all income, okay, all sources, regardless of use, okay, will be what? Will be taxed. In reality, okay, the system that we are talking here, let's say any system in the world, Malaysia, for example, there will be what? There will be, of course, first of all, you have to identify as many sources of income as possible, right? Except a few that we just mentioned. At the same time, there are some users, okay, as many, and there are a few, okay, a few sources. Either it's not measured or it's not included as income. A few sources, not income, and not considered as income. And then some users will also be not taxed. All right. So in this system here, what we do is this. First of all, you will have the comprehensive income. Okay. Now this comprehensive income is not. Is this not the Hick-Simon? Okay, not this one. Of course, the Hick-Simon is our guideline, but our comprehensive income may not be the same as the Hick-Simon income. When we come up with the comprehensive income, and then we will do what? We'll do all these users that should be taxed. So we call this what? We call this deductions. The deductions. There are a few terms. Deductions, exemptions. Deductions, exemption, whatever terms. But in Malaysia, we make it simple. Malaysia kita panggil deduction je semua. Okay, deduction. In other words, you will have those kinds of income, like I mentioned earlier, that will not be included as income to be taxed. So all these things, you come up with the comprehensive income, okay? That means we add all those components, and then we subtract the deduction, okay? You subtract the deductions, exemptions, deductions, refund, sometimes they call it refund, there are a few refunds. And then we come up, or refund come later. And then you come up with the taxable income. All right, taxable income. So the income that is taxed will be what you call taxable income. So this is what you call the tax. the income that is going to be the tax income. Okay, all right. And after you compute the amount of the tax that you have to pay, then probably there are some refund. Okay, maybe we overpay, so you got refund. So this is how the system, income tax system works. All right. So that's how it works. You first measure the income from all sources, not necessarily be not necessarily be equal to the Simon definition, because some in-kind income, the home production will not be included. You got that? Okay, and then we do some deductions based on the things that I mentioned earlier. Then you come up with a term that call it taxable income. So that is the income that you will be taxed on. So this is what? This is to be fair. This is based on fairness. Okay? To be fair to the different individual. The tax must be fair. Right? Okay. Okay. Any question? Anything? You got the idea? Okay. All right. So let me go through the things. So you have the exemptions, deduction, and then you have the taxable income. So the tax base, all right. So the tax base, make the tax base to be followed. So the tax base will be the taxable income, all right. And then we compute the tax. So the comprehensive income, the term they call is the gross income. All right. So the individuals, all sources of income, various sources of income, as per the requirement or the law in that country. So this includes, of course, basic concept of income that we discussed earlier, except some types of income which is not included. Okay, all right. So if you look at here, these are the exemption, deduction, itemized deduction. So don't worry. Okay, so the next step is to subtract exemption deduction. So exemption what? Exemption is a fixed amount that taxpayer can subtract for each dependent and spouse. So this is exemption. In Malaysia, we just call it deduction. And deduction means some amount that you deduct from the gross income, so that this kind of income will not be included in the taxable income. All right. This also includes some expenses allowed by the law. This include what? This includes some charitable contribution, some gift, medical expenditure, computer expenditure. So this may vary, this may vary depending on the time. Some government, or if you look at Malaysian government, during a certain year, they introduce expenses that can be deducted from the income tax. Income. That means we are not going to pay tax on that income. All right. Okay. So what you do, this is roughly. So first you compute the gross income. So example, say 60,000 per year. Okay, this is per year. Minus exemption. For exemption, according to the definition in the book, exemption for the family, for yourself, which include the cost of earning income. Okay, so you have a staff exemption that include cost of earning income, the traveling, the uniform, things like that. So you have a fixed amount of exemption for yourself. And then there is also exemption for your spouse. and then exemption for children, and then you have exemption for education, okay, and some deduction, okay. So deduction, exemption, same thing. So deduction for education, deduction for medical expenses, according to the rule. So suppose you subtract another 13,500. So these are the deductions and exemptions. In our country, we just call everything deduction. And that, the difference will be equal what? Be equal to the taxable income. And you subtract these things, you get 40,500. So this is the income that is taxed on. Okay, that is the amount of income that we are going to tax on, not 60,000. If we go by the tax-assignment income, okay, income from all sources, we call it gross income. There is no exemption, no deduction, nothing. Your tax will be based on 60,000. Okay, all right. So here is where deductions. If you are married, like I said earlier, let's say A is married with 3 children, a wife, you have what? You have a single person, then some deduction here will not be included. So your taxable income will be higher for a single person than a person who is married, because they have a deduction for the family members. All right? Okay. Now, what about the rates? The rates to income tax is not as simple as a flat rate tax. If you recall, you have what? You have our income tax. Last time we were talking about lump sum tax. The lump sum tax meaning you tax income just constant amount, which is T, equal to PXX plus PYY. So what happened is that your budget line, okay, this is X and Y, your budget line will just shift downward parallel. So you got equilibrium going from E0 to E1 like that. U0, U1. So that is the lump sum tax. Okay, that is the best tax, of course. But normally we don't do it. It's not fair. Okay? It is efficient. Okay, this one is efficient, but not equitable. Okay, why? Because everybody has different income. And if we charge everybody by the same tax, say 2,000 or 20,000 RM, then it's not fair. If you earn 60,000 income per year, you pay 20,000. If you have 1 million, you also pay 20,000. So it's not equitable. This only be fair, okay? This one only if what? It is fair only if what? Only if our distribution of income, okay, what? Our distribution of income is very, 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 very good. Okay, so distribution of income is very, very, what do you call it? It's very even. Our distribution income is what is the word? Senang cerita, everybody or everyone's income about the same. That we can do about the same. So distribution of income is very, very good. That economy, everybody earns about the same amount. I don't know which system is having that one. All right. Now, another system that is close to that system is what you call a flat rate tax. Okay, flat rate tax, flat rate income tax. That is close to the lump sum tax. Here, everybody pay same, let's say 15%. Everybody pay 15% of your income, of of your gross income. Or, if they do deduction, then of the taxable income. All right. Now, what is the problem with the flat rate income tax? Everybody pay same percentage. Is it fair or is it not fair? I pay, then you pay.
Fair.
Is it fair or is it not fair?
Not fair.
Still not fair. All right. Why? Because if one person earning 50,000 ringgit a month, another person earning 900,000 a month, okay, 15% here, 15% there. All right. You see here 15%, they pay about some amount, but in terms of burden, okay, this guy here is having a higher burden, okay, and this one here lower burden, because what? The percentage is the same, but the other guy has higher income level, all right, has higher income. So 15% of higher income will be low, in terms of burden will be lower. I forgot the measure. There is a measure that one. I'm not sure what is the measure, but there is a measure to show that the one with lower income under flat rate tax will be worse off. Okay, so we are worse off. So we come up with another tax system, which is practiced by, I think, all the countries in the world except communist country. We call it what? We call it progressive tax. So all the countries in the world, all free market, all market economies, all right, are progressive income tax system. So this one, all the mixed economy, in other words, market economy with government, we call it mixed economy. So all the mixed economy use progressive income tax. I think one country last time they used a flat. I think UK tried with flat income tax rate. They tried once, 1 year after that. They went back to progressive because people are not satisfied. So this is the system of income tax. So under the progressive income tax, you are taxed a simple tax rate. All right, we are charged. Okay, we are charged the income tax. The rates will be different for a different amount of income. To make life simpler, they make it into income brackets. So these are called income brackets. For each bracket, the rates are different. Okay, so this example that I have here is 2002. But this is the basis. Okay, the basis. If you look at now, okay, the brackets have changed, the rates have changed, but the system doesn't change. Okay, all right. So if you look at this thing here, you look at the bracket. Bracket ni senang kita, they make it like more than, less than. So kita guna ni je. Bracket pakai tu je. Okay. So first bracket tadi berapa? First bracket 2500 to 5000. So sebelah kita 2500 5000. So that is a bracket, income bracket. So each income bracket, you have a different rate here. Okay, so that is bracket. Kita buat combo lah, you buat ni. Combo tu So you do this sign here. Okay, all right. So what I want you to do, you write down the bracket. Don't write more than though. You just write bracket like I wrote here. You know, so that will be simpler to represent the bracket. You write that in, and then you write the rates. So I want you to, after you write, you think, what can you say, or how do you relate the brackets? Okay, how do you compare the different brackets? And then how do you compare the different rates? And then how do you compare the bracket to the rate? All right, so you write down now. If you write down, then you can think. You can relate. Okay, now, what can you say about the bracket? About the different brackets. You know, as the income increases.
As income increases, rates also increase.
What?
As income increase, rates also increase.
Okay, that's number one. As the bracket increases, or as the income increases, the income bracket or income increases, the rate also increase. So that is what? That is progressive. Okay, that's progressive. That means the higher your income is, you have to pay for those different bracket that belong to your income. You pay higher rates. Okay, different rate and higher rate. All right. Okay, that's number one. Actually, that is number three. Okay. What you identify is number three. What is number one in terms of the bracket? What can you say? Just look at the bracket.
The range of income is getting higher.
The range is different. Okay. The first bracket is what? The first bracket from 0 to 2,500. That's first bracket up to 2,500. That means from 0 to 250. The range is only 2,500. The second bracket, same range, 2,500. What about the third bracket? 15,000. Is that right? And then
Yes.
15,000. After that, 15,000. What about the next bracket?
20,000.
And 3,000. After that, 30,000. Okay.
30,000.
And after that, the bracket will be what? 150,000. So the brackets are different. Okay. And normally, okay, the bracket, as the income gets higher, the bracket also gets wider. All right. So if you look at the brackets, there will be some, number one, okay, minimum income. Minimum income to be taxed. To be taxed. Less than the minimum income, tax is what? 0. Okay, 0%. And there is a minimum income that is going to be taxed. Okay. And number two, the range. All right, range increases as income increases. So we can see the range in the bracket normally. Okay, as income gets higher, the range gets wider. Okay, All right. Now, what about the rate? So we look at the rate. We already described the rate increases. All right. Now you look at the increase. Of course, it's increased. All right. But look at the change. Look at the increase for the brackets, for consecutive bracket, for the for one bracket to the next bracket. What about the increase in the rate? What about the increase? We're not talking about the rate here. Okay, we already covered the rate. The rate is higher. As income increases, the rate gets higher. Now we want to talk about the increase in the rate. What can you say about the increase in the rate?
Equity.
Different group.
Burden same.
First, what?
I think burden quite the same.
Quite the same. Okay, let's
Almost
see. Almost the same. Okay, you look at the first one, 1%. After that, 2%. After that,
4%.
After that,
6.
After that, 6.
6.
Lepas tu,
6.
8. 24 minus 19, 5. After that, 3.
3.
After that, 1.
1.
Okay. So it is not almost the same. It's what? The rate is increasing.
Then decline.
Then decline. Okay. So you can see here the rate. Okay. You write the changes. If you look at the rates, right? Here, there's the bracket increases. The change in the rate or the increase in rate, the rate, the rate increases. The rate increases. The rate increases up to a certain bracket. Okay, up to a certain bracket. After that, what happened? After that, the rate decline back. Okay, so the rate increases from 1%, 3%, 4%, and then reach the maximum. After that, it will go down again. So that is the behavior of the rates. So that behavior here, consistent. It can change the rate. Okay, the rate can change. Can change. If you compare to 2020, the rates are different. Not much different, but there are minor differences. But the behavior is still the same. All right, you will have the rates going up. After that, the increase gets higher, and then it goes down. Okay, the rates increases. The increase in the rate increases. So the rate increases, or you can say the increases. Okay, the increases in the rate increases. The increases in the rate increases up to a certain point. After that, the increase. After that, the increase decreases. The increase is still increased, but decreases. Okay, so if you go back to the thing, you have at the last interval, the increase is 1% compared to the previous interval, 3%. Okay, all right. So I can write. So I can do it here. Okay, I can say verbally. You can do it in your notes. So the first interval, the second interval, first interval, 1 minus 0. So that is 1% increase. Third interval, second interval, 2%, 3 minus 1. Fourth interval, third interval, 7 minus 3, 4%. Okay. The next one is what? 5. After that, 6. After that, 5. After that, 3. And then 1. So the increase in the rate increases up to a certain point. After that, the increase of the rate will start to decline. Okay. So it is the increase we are talking about. So this is why I say the increase, okay? Not the rate increasing. The rates, of course, increases. But if you're talking about the rate will increase all the way. All right. But here we're talking about what? About the increase. So you may put down the increase in the rate increases up to a certain bracket. After that, the increase in the rate will decline. Okay. But if you're talking about the rates will continue to increase. Okay. Increase up to the last bracket. Okay, increase rate up to last. So that is progressive. Progressive meaning the rate increases as income increases, and then the increase in the rate will be increasing. Okay, will be increasing. Normally up to a certain point, after that, decrease. So that is what you call progressive. Higher income, pay higher tax. Okay. All right. Any question? So if you look at the recent year, okay, look at recent years. If you have time, after this, you look at the recent years. All right. Now some deductions may change depending on the government. You may have new deductions, and then you have current deduction taken out, things like that. So deductions may change, and brackets may change. So you may have a different bracket. You may have a higher minimum bracket. Okay, brackets can change, and then the rates can change. So these are the things change over time. Okay, over time. So if you compare what you have now in 2002, my example ni dah tua sangat dah lama sangat. I think I got to modify lah. Tapi tak apalah. These are old. But if you refer to the more recent system, you have yes in the brackets and also in the. Okay. All right. So now, next, how do we compute the tax? Okay, so next is how do we compute the tax? So assuming that the taxable income is 40,500, then we will have to compute the tax according to this rate and the brackets. Okay? All right. So this is how we do it. Our taxable income so we write down here taxable income. We know it's 40,500. All right. So we go by the brackets. Okay. So the brackets. And then you got the rate. And then we got the tax. Okay. Now, from 0 to 5, 0 to 2,500. What is the rate? 0. So what is the tax? 0. Okay, next bracket. 2,500 to 5,000. Okay. Now, in that bracket, 2,500 to 5,000, how much income you have in that bracket? Our taxable income is 40,500. So you have to compute the tax according to a bracket and the rate for this amount. So you have to start from zero. Okay. So first 0 to 2,500, zero tax. Now 2,500 to 5,000, how much income you have in that bracket? Okay, go look at the bracket. How much income do we have in that bracket?
1,000.
2,000?
500.
5,000.
5,000?
Save off.
5.
Is it 5,000?
Where?
5,000? Anybody else? If you say 5,000, that is wrong. How much income do you have in that bracket? But that's a good try, you know, it's good try. So I say wrong. So what should the bracket be? What should the income be in the bracket for you, for this income? It is not 5,000. All right.
2,500.
It's 2,500. Because the first 2,500, you pay zero tax. Okay. The first 2,500, you pay zero tax. So here, 2,500. No tax. Now the next amount is what? 2,500 to 5,000. So how much money in that bracket? 2,500. So the next 2,500. All right. So the next 2,500 sum is what? 5,000. But the tax for that bracket is not 5,000. It's only what? 2,500. Now, what is the rate? The rate is 1%. Is that right? 1%. 1%.
Yes, 1%.
1% kan? 1%. So 1%, we come up with a tax. So rate 1%. So rate here is 1%. So 1% equal to 0.01. So you multiply 2,500 with 0.01, which is 1%.
25
How much
ringgit.
do I have?
25 ringgit.
Berapa?
25 ringgit.
25 ringgit. So for your first 25,000, that is tax. Okay, the first 25,000, no tax. 1%, you pay 25 ringgit. Right. Okay. So you paid already 5,000. We still have a lot of income yet to be taxed on. So we go to the next bracket. Next bracket, 5,000 to what? 20,000. Now, how much income do we have in that bracket?
15,000.
15,000.
15,000. Good. So here now, 15,000. Okay. So 15,000, 3%, 0.03. So you multiply that. Okay. So I think we should put another step here. 15,000 multiply 0.03. Then you get the amount here. Berapa?
450.
150.
450.
450. So now, this one, 5,000, 15,000, I'm sorry. So the total income that we already pay tax is 20,000. So we still have 20,500 to pay tax on. Okay, so we go to the next bracket. Next bracket is 20,000 to 35,000. Okay, so now we know already. You compute. Okay, you compute until the last bracket for this income level. Okay, finish it up. So next bracket is 20,000 to 35,000. Besok sekolah ke? Bukan besok cuti. Oh iya ya. Belum. Go back to your room. Another 20 minutes. Okay. Okay. Are you done here? All right. So the next bracket is what? 20,000 to 35,000. So next bracket, 20,000 to 35,000. Okay, and the rate is what? Rate is 7%. So 7%. Now, how much income do we have here? 15,000.
15,000.
15,000. So you multiply 15,000 by 0.07. Then you get the amount. How much?
1,050.
1,050. All right. So now you add another 15,000. So the income that we are taxed on already, you plus that tadi tu, already 35,000. Okay. So of course you can get it from here also directly, or if you look at the previous bracket by adding the subsequent bracket, you will have 20,000 plus 15,000. So you add another 15,000. Okay, added 20,000 previously. Now sum is 35,000. So you still have some income to pay tax on because our income is 40,500. So the next bracket would be what? 35,000 to 50,000. Okay, rate is 13%. Now, how much income do we have in that bracket?
5,500.
4,000? 4,500. Okay, so here, be careful. It's not up to 50,000. Okay, it's not up to 50,000 unless our income is 50,000. Our income is what? 40,500. So how much income do you have in the bracket? So you take the difference, 40,500, you have to subtract 35,000.
5,500.
You already pay tax on. So this is equal to 4,500.
5,000.
5,500. 5,500.
5,500. Okay, so that is the amount of income for which we have to pay tax on for this bracket. 40,500 minus 35,000. So here you be careful. You don't tax on the 15,000. Okay, if you take 15,000, then you overpay the government because our income is only 40,500. If you take it as 15,000, multiply by 13%, that is a lot of money. You overpay the government because our income is only 40,500. So for that bracket, our amount of income is only 5,500. So here, 5,500 multiplied by 0.1. Now, mistake is you multiply 15,000 by 0.13. So that is wrong, okay? Because our income is only 40,500. If our income is 50,000, then 3,000. All right, so that is not right. It's only 5,500. So you do the calculation, multiply, berapa dapat ni?
715.
750. So you sum up all the tax according to the bracket. That will be the total tax. This is the amount that we have to pay the government. All right. So berapa total?
So 715, bukan 50.
700 and
15, 715.
715. Okay, sorry. 715. Okay, so sum total berapa dapat?
2240.
2240.
40.
Okay, 2240. So this is how much you have to pay. And of course, there will be some deduction. Okay, if there is any. All right. So example deduction, zakat. Okay, in our country. If you pay zakat on your income, that means that's considered tax. So you deduct. Then suppose you pay zakat 500 ringgit. So deduct. Sometimes deduction computer purchase. Okay, computer purchase, you have maybe the deduction 500 ringgit. All right, or maybe some other deduction. Now this deduction maybe vary. Okay, according to time period. That is up to the government. So this is how the income tax system in real life differ from the hexagon. Now, the hexagon income is very important because that gives us the guideline. Okay, that is the baseline. Of course, you have to start with what? With a perfect income. You cover everything. Even cacing dalam tanah pun kena cari. Alright, so you have to cover everything. But based on that, then we have to make some adjustment in order to take care of a few factors that we just mentioned. Okay, all right. Now, there are a few things that I didn't mention because I take a little bit longer time. But it's okay, for today, last class, I will take a little bit longer. Now, there are a few things that I would like you to read because I don't have time. Mainly, we go back to chapter number 10. Chapter number 10, I think I would like you to read. This readable chapter. Now, chapter number 10, I would like you to read a few things. Okay. Tax base. Okay, we go through the chapter number 10. Tax base, I think I already mentioned that. And then, the distribution of burden. Okay, that one I want you to read. The burden distribution. Okay, burden distribution. That is chapter number berapa? Number 10. Chapter 10, benefit principle. There are two principles of taxation. One is benefit principle. The other is the ability to pay principle. So you read that part. And then the next one is the criteria. Okay, criteria of government finance. We talk about equity, we talk about efficiency. Okay, there is another criteria there. Administrative ease. Okay, administrative ease is considered the cost, right? The cost of the tax system. Sometimes you have a system, a good system, all right? Good system. For example, GST good system. Or you consider to the SST, sales tax, simple. This one is complicated, so high cost. Okay, it's very high cost. This one simpler, lower cost. So you have to consider the cost criteria, the system. It's very costly to implement and sometimes very complicated. You make the taxpayers pening kepala tak tentu pasal, to understand the GST, you have to attend seminar, habis duit je 1,000. So that is costly. So have to consider also that thing, right? So read that part. And then the other one, okay, that. So sometimes the government do not necessarily tax to cover their expenditure. Sometimes they do other revenue source. For example, borrowing. So the government can borrow. Okay, so not necessarily tax they borrow. So when you borrow, that contribute debt. Borrow mana loan. So you borrow from Along, debt. Okay, so you are paying debt. So read that part. So I think that's it. So that is the end of. Okay, so that's the end. So for that chapter we just covered today, you don't have to read the US system. US system tu panjang cerita. Okay, if you want to read, you read after the semester lah. But you just look at the Malaysian system. So the Malaysian system briefly is like I said just now, the bracket, the rates, right? But we don't go into much detail of the deduction. You can refer that to the income tax form. If you have time, you can look at the you can go online, look at the income tax form, or you can look at the some of the tax accountant, like accountant firm in Malaysia, apa yang popular? Siapa tahu? KPJ.
KPMG.
Yang tu.
KPMG.
KPMG, normally they have, every year they have information regarding the income tax. So if you go to their page, you may have the income tax deduction, the changes to the bracket, things like that, or the income tax form. But income tax form, you can refer to our hasil dalam negeri. Okay. Hasil dalam negeri. Our tax revenue section. Okay. All right. So the final exam will be comprehensive. All right, will be comprehensive. That means cover the topic number 1 up to what we cover today. What we cover today is actually not much. Okay, it's quite brief. You don't have to read the whole book. Just read based on what I discussed in the class, in today's class and Monday. And then for chapter number 10 book, all right, you can read because it's a readable concept. Other than that, just based or you study based on our class. Okay, you don't read the book first. You study based on our class discussion. Because that is how much I discussed. Okay, based on our discussion. And then you refer to the book. So that you don't have to read the whole book, the whole chapter. I don't cover the whole chapter. I just cover selectively. The things that you need to cover. So that's how things is. All right. Now, one last thing. I need to discuss about the midterm. Well, if you have to go, you go now. If you stay, I will discuss the midterm because I don't have any more meeting. So I will discuss the midterm, and then as I said last time, I will put the midterm the outside my office. Apa siapa dah tengok? Ayam. So let's go through the test quickly. All right, question number 1. Question 1A. Okay, this one, A, under part 1. Part 1, show the effect of the subsidy on the market of chicken. So you have recent issues, on the chicken subsidy. So now, what is the effect of subsidy on the market of chicken? So you draw the diagram. All right, you draw the diagram. How does the diagram look like? Diagram for a subsidy. Suppose the subsidy S given to whom? Given to the sellers. Okay, so if you know if the subsidy you give to the seller, that means the supplier will what? Or the supplier or the MC will shift where? Will shift to the right. Will shift to the left. Not right, left. Okay, MC increased by the amount of the subsidy. So you have the marginal cost after the subsidy, call it MC1, equal to what? MC plus, is it minus or plus? Minus subsidy. Okay, not to the left, not to the left, shift to the right. I'm sorry, shift to the right, increase. Increase is correct, but I said shift to the left, shift to the right. Okay, so the diagram will be like this. You have the Q here, the price over there, the demand function, and then the marginal cost, and then you have the MC1. That is the amount of the subsidy. Okay, so you have equilibrium E0, the competitive equilibrium, U0, P0. And then after the subsidy, you have Q1, all right? But the prices, there are two prices. One is P1, the other is P2. Okay, so you look at that price, and then this is the what? The excess burden. So there are two things here. Okay, a few things. Number one, Q increases. Okay, consumption increases. Why? Because of the subsidy. Number two, the price we pay, okay, consumer's price is what? Is P1. And P1 is less than P0. So what? We pay what? Lower price because of the subsidy. Number three, what about the firms? The sellers. The firm's price will be higher. Okay? Why? Because you see P2 is bigger than P0. So firms receive higher price due to the subsidy. Okay? So this is the price to the firm, and this is the price to the consumers. We call it PC. And the difference PF minus PC is the subsidy. And number four, you have excess burden of the subsidy. Okay, or you can say consumers, not consumers are worse off. Consumers are better off. Firms are also better off, all right? But the thing that is worse off is what is the society. So you have excess burden to the due to the subsidy. Okay. Are you done? You because answers are still with me, that's the thing. So hopefully the recording today, I will I can get the recording that I will upload to you. Okay, are you done here? Part A1?
Yes,
Done?
sir.
All right. Any question?
Yes.
Anything? Okay, now this subsidy, if you go to question number part 2, this subsidy is what? It's a market subsidy. You subsidize the market, just like the petrol. You subsidize the market. That means everybody benefit. Everybody enjoy the subsidy. The higher income group, the lower income group, they enjoy the same subsidy. So, what is your suggestion? I read a few suggestions. Okay, but suggestion is what? The subsidy is to be what? Is to be targeted. Subsidy is to be targeted subsidy. That means you must benefit only the target group, only our target group. Now, who are the target groups? The lower income group, all right? Lower income. Okay, now, how do you do this? I got one suggestion. Give income, okay? Give some cash to them. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Boleh lah tu, give income, which is equal to the subsidy. Let's say the subsidy is 200 per family or per person. So you give them income. So it's up to them to spend on what, but it's targeted to the group. Okay. Or some people, they say, give vouchers. Okay. Vouchers of chicken. So you have the voucher, you can get the subsidy for the chicken. All right. So that is the answer for the second part. Okay, now for part B, the football game in the household. So you have what? You have congestion. Now, this problem is similar to the grazing field problem. So if you remember, we're talking about the cow. Remember the grazing field? The grazing field or the playground. Okay. Or you can use the congestion problem. So grazing field, if you use the grazing field example, that means as more cows enter, there will be more congestion. So here, as more cows enter, there will be less space for every cow. So they cause traffic jam and congestion. So how do you solve that problem? You charge toll. Okay, so most people answer this toll, or you charge a fee, entrance fee to enter. So if you charge toll, some people they don't want it. So you reduce the problem. Okay. All right. So that is part B. Now for part C, the least Cannon model, the efficient condition is what? MB equal MC. Okay, but under this public the bureaucracy model, okay, bureaucracy problem, what is the condition? Total benefit equal total cost. So this is inefficient. Okay, so the bureaucracy model is inefficient. Why? Because they choose output at total benefit equal total cost. So if you remember the diagram, it will be like this. This is the total benefit. That's total cost. What they do, this is the bureaucracy equilibrium. They will choose QB. And that is the total cost, total benefit. So total cost will be higher. And the efficient one will be what? Yeah, marginal benefit equal to the marginal cost. So that is equilibrium QE. And that is the change, the marginal benefit equal, that is the difference between the net benefit. Yeah. Okay, that benefit is maximum. And in other words, the total benefit minus total expenditure, total cost, maximum. So that is the efficient one. So the bureaucracy model, they maximize their own benefit. They overspend, okay, or they overproduce. They produce too much output, or their size will be bigger, will be too big. Okay, so under bureaucracy, output big, or the bureaucracy size is too big. Okay, inefficient. Okay, any question? Okay, now I think the part C, many people cannot answer that one. I don't know, maybe you didn't read that part. I didn't cover that part, right? Did I cover or I didn't cover? Because many people cannot answer that one. Okay, so that is answer question number one. Now the second question, saya pun label number one juga. So that question should be number two. Okay, the second question, I already put the demand function, supply function in terms of P, in terms of Q. So you don't have to worry about anything. Everything is already being put directly. So part question one juga lah. Okay. One for part A, competitive equilibrium. What is the condition? Demand equal supply. Okay, or you can say marginal benefit equal marginal cost, or demand equal supply equal marginal cost. Anything okay. So you have the equation given. So you solve the equation. So you have what? You have 48,000 minus Q divided by 100 equal to Q divided by 550 plus 25. Now, easiest thing to do is you bring the 100 to the right. Okay, so you do that. 48,000 minus Q equal to 100 multiplied by, this is divide, Q over 550 plus 25. We multiply, okay, and then solve for the Q. So you do that, all right? If you got this wrong, you can modify it. So Q is equal to 45,500. 45,500 equal to 58,559.32. And then to find the P, I substitute into S. Okay, substitute into MC S. So the P is equal to 48,000 minus 38,559.32 divided by 100. Okay, what do I get? I get 94.44. So that is the price of cement. Okay. Now, you have pollution, okay? Negative externality, negative consumption, negative production externality. So you remember your answers, right? So if you get differently, maybe what you can do, you redo it. Okay. Now you have what? Negative production externality. So the MEC, marginal external cost, is equal to 75. So now what happened is this: when you have negative production externality, then you define the marginal social cost equal to what? MC plus MEC. So this is the new function. Okay. So make sure we know that. So if you have a positive externality, then function change. That will be equal to the marginal cost that is given Q over 550 plus 25. And then you add the 75. Okay? Then you get another function. So you got Q550 plus 100. 100. So you solve that for social equilibrium. What is the condition? Demand or the marginal benefit equal MSC. Okay, so you have this thing. So very similar to the first part, except the supply is different. So you got what? You got 48,000 minus Q over 100 equal to Q550 plus 100. So buat macam tadi kok. Okay, sama ya. The work is the same. If you do that, I got Q equal to 32,203.39. So quite consistent because quantity is reduced. Okay, so you see here quantity lower. Betul lah. All right, that what should we get? And then the price you substitute to whatever function, then you get 157.97. So price goes up. Consistent dengan externality. Okay. All right. So to get a clearer picture, you sketch the graph. Okay. Graph supply demand, and then you have the marginal cost shift to the left. Okay, there is increase in cost because of the negative externality. So you do that. You sketch the graph. You got here, that's the price. That's the MC, and that is the MST. That's the demand. Okay, so you do the equilibrium, social equilibrium. That is easy, you know. Or you can answer the next question. What are the effects of the negative externality? So you look at the comparative statics. Sama aja. Okay, so Q decreases. Okay, or you can say competitive market produce what? Produce. Now I didn't label. Okay, you go home, you label lah. Produce because I don't have time. Produce too much output, and the price goes up. Okay, price goes up. So here, one, quantity decrease. Number two, price increases. And there is what? That is the net gain. You got net benefit, net gain. Okay, there is a net benefit. Okay, net benefit or net gain. You check, but you can use net gain or net benefit or net gain, whatever. So there is a net gain due to the reduction of the externality. So you got the net gain over there. So there are three things: 1, 2, 3. So these are the effects of the negative externality. When you when you consider externality, negative externality, these are the effects on the market. Okay, all right. Any question? Okay. Now next one, the last part. How do you realize? How do we what? How do you internalize? Okay, how do we internalize? That is the last part.
Corrective text.
We, not you lah, we internalize the negative externality to internalize. So government what? Government impose
Corrective
impose
text.
tax. Okay, impose tax. Quality equal to what? Equal to the marginal external cost. Here 75. Okay, and then I didn't ask you to calculate the tax revenue. But if you calculate the tax revenue, okay too. Okay, so you've got the tax revenue. Okay, you can find the net gain. Okay, also. But I did not ask that. Okay, so the thing is, to internalize, the government just do it by taxation. And if you do it without government intervention, so you have the individual or the personal negotiation, okay, the private bargaining. So you can also do the private bargaining. Okay, there is one more method, which is what? Which is by the cost theorem. Cost theorem. So you just understand the cost theorem. What is cost theorem? The cost theorem means what? Means in the presence of negative externality, positive or negative, private bargaining will lead what? Will lead to efficient outcome by compensation. So that is question number, that question. This one, I give you extra lah, one way to internalize the externality. Okay, all right. So we move on to the next question. The last question is on the political equilibrium. Now, when you see political equilibrium, that means what? That means we do voting. Okay, so you do voting by majority rule, by simple majority rule. So this is voting, okay, by simple majority rule. Now, if you remember simple majority rule, you win the election if what? If you get 50% plus 1 vote. So that is, so now under this political equilibrium model, you're given the tax, okay, P equal to 150. So the principle of voting, you yes, if what? If the marginal benefit is bigger or equal to the tax. Okay, in this case, of course, 150. So first thing I want to see is this principle. Okay, so I think this one most people got it right. As of as of when I graded the thing. So I just do one, for Q equal to 1, you do the voting. So you see Mael will vote yes. Will vote yes. Why? Since his marginal benefit is equal to 300, X equal to 1, which is bigger than the tax, which is equal to 150. So he vote yes. So you make the argument for everyone. So you see here, 5 vote yes, 0 no. So this is not simple majority, this is unanimous. So what you do? You increase the Q. Okay, you try Q equal to 2, and then you try Q equal to 3 by doing the same principle of voting. Then what you will see is that Q equal to 3, you will see here 3 vote yes, 2 vote no. So you do the same argument like this, all right? So that is 50% plus 1. At Q equal to 4, you lose already, okay? So at Q equal to 4, you'll see here 2 yes, 3 no. So that one you lose. So Q equal to 3 is our equilibrium by simple majority rule. Okay, all right. So that is our answer, Q equal to 3. So you have to make the argument to justify, at least for 1 or 2 people, to justify why they vote the way they do. Okay, why they vote no? They vote no because marginal benefit is less than the tax. So here, the next part is show that the revenue collected. So at Q equal to 3, okay, at Q equal to 3, so I got to get a new. Okay, are you done this part? I got to move. I got to use another 300 page here. So I got to open up another note. Okay, a few more minutes. Okay, a few more minutes. This one is different. This one, so here, for part C, part B. Okay, total cost. What is the total cost of producing the public good? So here you got what? Q equal to 3. And there are N people. And the average cost is equal to what? 150. So what is the total cost? 150. The total cost is what? Given the average cost is equal to 150, the total cost per person. Okay. First thing here, you find the average cost. Okay, you find the average cost. Why? Because total cost is equal to what? Is equal to average cost multiplied by Q. Okay, that's total cost of producing 3 units of output. So you have to find the average cost. Now, average cost for this good is equal to what? We know T is equal to average cost divided by N. So therefore, average cost is equal to T times N. That is equal to 1. This is not the average cost. This is the this is T. So T 150 multiplied by 5. You get 750. Okay, so the total cost is equal to average cost multiplied by Q, 750 times 3. So that is equal to 2250. You may not necessarily use what the method that I use now. You can right away do. If you have what you have, tax is 150, and then you have what you have 5 people, Q equal to 3. So you can multiply 150 times 5 times 3. You also get the total cost. Okay, so you can do that way too. And then how do we get the revenue?
Marginal benefit of each people.
Marginal, no, we don't do marginal
Oh.
benefit here. We do, everybody pay the tax.
Or individual tax times.
So revenue is equal to what? Is equal to the collection of each people. Okay, revenue from each person. How much? From each person. That means for everyone, they have to pay based on the T multiplied by Q. All right, so that is 150 multiplied by 3. Okay, that is each person. And total, there are 5 people. Okay, so total revenue will be equal to revenue per person multiplied by N. Okay, so you got whatever you got here, you multiply by N, which is 5. But again, you can multiply directly. So you can multiply 150 times 3, which is the number of the output multiplied by 5. There are 5 people. So you got 150 times 3 times 5. You also get 2250. So you can do like what I'm doing step by step. First, we do it individually, and then we get the aggregate. Okay? So, or you can multiply right away the 3 things. So you will see that the revenue and the cost will be the same. So we say that we just cover the cost. Okay, all right. Now part C. How the solution relate to the median water theorem? Now, what is the median water? According to the median water theorem, the median water will get what? Will get his most preferred outcome. All right. Now you look at this problem. Who get the most preferred outcome? The most preferred outcome is when what? Most preferred outcome for the voter is the amount of Q where the marginal benefit equals to T. Okay, so first for part C, you will have to explain directly. First, you get the idea what is the median voter. Okay, median voter meaning what? Median voter theorem say the median voter will get what? Will get his or her most preferred. Outcome. And normally, the simple majority voting, simple majority voting, okay, outcome is what? Is the most preferred choice of the median voter. Most preferred choice. Of the median voter. So this is the test. Okay, the median voter, according to the median voter theorem, the median voter will get what? Will get his most preferred outcome. And the simple majority rule, the outcome will be what? Will be the most preferred choice of the median voter. So you look at the problem that you have here. Who is the median voter? The median voter is the one where what? The most preferred outcome. Okay, the most preferred outcome is what? Alamak, saya punya
Marginal benefit equal to T.
marginal benefit just equal to the tax, equal to 150. Okay. Now equal to tax benefit, and that is of course at Q equal to 3. Okay. And who is the guy? The third person. Okay. So Fatihah, her most preferred choice is what? Is the political equilibrium. And that is his most preferred choice. So the outcome of the median voter, the outcome of the voting process, okay, is the most preferred outcome of the median voter. Okay, all right. So basically, that's how you answer it. Okay, any question? Okay, now for part D, what is the difference between political equilibrium and Lindau equilibrium? I need only one difference. What is the difference?
Total marginal benefit.
One is the equilibrium output is determined by marginal benefit, market demand equal to the marginal cost. What about the political equilibrium?
Collective choice.
It's collective choice. You pay tax and you do by voting. Okay, so that is the difference. The other one, you pay the marginal benefit. The first one, you pay tax. Okay, and then you do voting. The other equilibrium is determined by the market demand equal to the marginal benefit. So those are the difference. Now, what is the similarity? Similarity is to determine what? To determine the number of units of the public good to be provided. Similarity, same thing. The model is what? To determine how much public goods to provide. So that is the similarity. But to get the amount, the method is different. Okay. All right. So any question? Okay, that's it. So if you are not sure about you can get back to the question, try to redo it. I will put the recording here, with the solutions as soon as possible. All right. Okay. So I take a little bit longer time, almost 2 hours. But I'm sorry. That's how it is. I have to cover these things, if not, then I have to have another class, which is already impossible. So as of now, I cover as much as I can, given, the constraints that we have. So based on our discussion, all right, based on our coverage here, we discussed about the concept, concepts, and then we discussed about the theory, we discussed about some application, so you can, you can based on what we learned here, I think that already provide us basic, okay, basic knowledge, and for you to be able to read and understand, okay, understand other public finance concept. So what I mean is that based on what we learn, you can read, okay, you can read other chapters, okay, other chapters that I don't cover. You can read that, or you can read other books, okay, you can read other books about the same subject matter, and you will be able to understand, and get the idea. Why? Because we already have the basic. If you look at other textbook, the way they describe it or they discuss is slightly different. Okay, but the basic principles, they are almost the same. Okay, all right. So that's it for the course. I will see you again in the final exam. So get ready for the final. If you have any question,
Sir,
you put the question in the WhatsApp group. Okay, don't WhatsApp saya lah. WhatsApp in the group. Now,
sir,
if you need consultation or a few people need something, I can have another online class for 20 minutes, half an hour, to discuss things. So you let me know, because from now until the date of the final exam, basically, if I do work, my work will be outside the house. So if you want to have a discussion, then maybe you can arrange it. Okay. All right. Any question? Any comment? Anything?
sir. When can we see our carry maps?
I will post the carry map in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Maybe next few days. I will put your number and then things like and then you add your points. Okay. And a few people who didn't do the homework. So if you get 0, that means for the homework, it's either you submit late or you don't submit. All right. If you submit, whether it is wrong or not, you will get some marks. Okay. If you get 0, that means you don't submit, or you submit late, too late. So that's the thing. And I give you a few bonus homework. So that bonus homework is to cover the losing marks. I hope it helped you. Okay, it helped, especially for those people who submitted the homework. But the bonus homework, can increase the marks of the homework. At least you can get almost 10%, for that part. So that helps. Okay, all right. Other things?
I have another question, sir.
Yeah.
For us, the people who are not here, so for the final examination, how will it be for us?
That one, I think we'll do like the midterm. I think the kuliah, is informed that the class, the final exam will be hybrid. Some people take it online, like you and Lee, okay, you do it online. Others will do it face to face. Okay, there are 2 people only who can take online, which is you and Lee. Yeah. So
Okay,
they will
sir.
arrange. Okay, they will arrange like the midterm. You will do maybe Zoom or Google Meet, whatever. But I will inform you. Okay, I will inform you
Okay, sir.
later lah. All right. Okay. So keep in touch with me. All right. Okay. Good. Okay. Other things?
So we just have homework by Google Classroom. The homework
Yeah.
just show at Google Classroom, not in
The
class.
homework. That's a bonus homework. The one that I give you, I ask you to do, you and Ramla. Okay, that's a bonus homework.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, it's not, it's individual homework, it's bonus. So you get a free mark for that one. Okay.
Okay,
I asked you to do it because you were not in the class.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And you submitted. If you didn't submit, that means you don't get mark. But you did submit, right? You did submit to
I submitted.
to my WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, other things? All right, good. Anything you raise in group, okay, in group WhatsApp. So, I will see you again. Good luck in your studies. Okay, you have a few more years to go until you graduate. So good luck to everybody. I hope everybody will do well this semester. Especially my course lah. The course I don't know, but I hope everybody can do better in the final exam.
Sir,
Okay, all right. Good luck to everyone. I'll see you
sorry,
again.
sir. One more
Assalamualaikum
question.
warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.